The first one is Jess and I got to sit down with a friend who's become a very close friend of ours, Caitlin Upcott. She's formerly the head of the Onondaga County Public Health Department smoking initiative, and we got a great deal because she now works for SU in the Health and Wellness Division. Which is great. So she talked to us a lot about a lot of different stuff. They're going to be forming a new student health advisory committee, which is great because a lot of schools across the country do this and we don't have one. So if we're going to look to focus more on student health, especially since it's being brought to the forefront, around this tobacco-free campus initiative, it's good. So if you guys have any interest in serving on that, you can let me know. We also talked about liveu.syr.edu, and here's the logo for it. Check out the website. It's created by SU. It's for SU students. About mind, body, health, spiritual health, that type of stuff. Really cool information. It's written by students and also by professional employees. Some really cool information that's on there. And I won't spoil it too much, but I know Jess has a lot to talk about next week for Colleges for Change. So we won't get too much in depth tonight, but there's a lot of great progress that I'm sure Jess is really excited to talk about next week. Okay, I also got to sit down with our athletic director, Dr. Daryl Gross. We talked about a couple different things. One of them was student attendance at the games at the new Meadowlands Stadium. I don't know if you guys are aware, but a couple SU games in the next couple of years will be played not at the Carrier Dome, but also at the new Meadowlands Stadium. Those will be home games, so they won't be included in your season ticket package, if you will. So we talked about how to get students down there. We talked about a couple different ideas. I think that you'll see this is one of those things we talk about when SA needs to be more forward-thinking. This issue came to us now, but it won't be a real issue per se until fall 2012, and I won't be here anymore. But we're laying the groundwork for future associations to take on this and work with it and make sure that we're being proactive with these types of things. So I think you'll see a lot of collaboration between Student Association, Oz Army, Brent Department, and University on that. So that's be some cool stuff to go. The other thing is keeping your student tickets affordable. I don't know, how many of you are student season ticket holders? Right, for basketball and football, I'm assuming. We had one less home game this year than last year, but our ticket prices went up. So we had an in-depth conversation about making sure that we're keeping ticket prices affordable for students. They understand that you're not going to make any money off students. It's just the way it is. We can't afford to pay for a student ticket as it is. So making sure that we still have those student tickets that are affordable, that we can still attend the games we want to go to. We talked about how attending athletic events and attending games at the Dome, whether it be a night basketball game or Saturday afternoon football game, is an important part of your student experience here at SU. It's an important part of your collegiate experience to make sure that you get to attend those games, because that's athletic tradition in higher education is deeply rooted, hundreds of years old. So we talked a lot about that stuff, and we're going to talk a lot more in the future about what we can do. Also with regards to the Carrier Dome, the expense that costs in our student organizations, particularly UU and Block Party, and how we can help alleviate those expenses. So we've just been kind of laying the groundwork, opening a little bit of communication between the offices to make sure that we can be on the same page and work together on this stuff. Shane.
Where is this stadium?
The new Meadowlands Stadium is located in New Jersey.
It's 1 mile from my house.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's a beautiful state of New Jersey.
Home game.
Home games.
And they don't count season tickets.
Well, I don't think the fact that, I don't know when your season ticket package, I don't think they've actually determined it, because I said it until fall 2012. Is that what I said? Did I say it wasn't included in your?
Yeah.
I meant to say that it wasn't included in, the home game piece, like there's 7 home games at the Dome.
Oh.
One of them will be taken away and played at the Meadowlands Stadium. That type of thing. So, why? That's a great question. Talk a little bit about, sidetrack a little bit, collegiate recruiting and your collegiate sports and athletic programs. Syracuse, New York, although it's a great region, Central New York is a great region, the best football recruits are not in Central New York. They're in the tri-state area, New York City, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, that type of area. So, have you guys ever seen the branding New York's college team? Have you seen that anywhere? That's an important piece strategically for SU, and not just for athletics, but for a lot of other things too. So let's say we get some great recruits out of that New Jersey or Pennsylvania area. Okay, coming back up here, and we have a great football team, right? Which is all we all want. We all want to see a great football team. We want to see our team do well. But that translates, and I believe it strongly translates to when I go to a job interview and put my my resume in front of me, and the employer says, "Oh, you're from Syracuse." It's a little bit of name recognition there. It's that branding. It's a very important piece to our strategy as a university and how we brand ourselves, so that our students can benefit after they graduate. So as much as it's frustrating for me too to see, because I grew up coming to games at the Carrier Dome. So it's frustrating for me to go see them, to see them leave too. But it's an important piece for us strategically. Part of that is student communication, but also making sure the students can still attend these games. Because, hey, if I could, wouldn't you guys want to jump on a train for a week, for a Saturday, go down, check the game out in New York City, and then come back, and where it's affordable for you to do so. So there's a lot of benefits that can come out of it. We just need to make sure we're working together every step of the way. Okay?
We also have really strong athletes in New York City and Jersey area.
Very strong. And plus, we make a lot of money in that game too. So there's a lot more seats at the new Meadowlands Stadium than at the Carrier Dome. So, are there any questions on that? Before we move on? Alex?
No.
Okay. Okay, and then finally, this is the last thing I wanted to cover tonight. I had a meeting with our the housing advisory team, which is made up of a bunch of different student affairs staff, talking about housing on campus. Obviously, what's centered around is overcrowding of residence halls. There's a story, an article that ran in the Daily Orange this morning talking about moving students, where they were going to be. So one of those things, or a couple of those things, is the university has taken rooms and floors in both of these hotels at Sheridan, right on University Avenue in Parkview, out towards Syracuse Stage. There's going to be some really cool stuff happening there. Parkview, I know, is they're looking to create a drama learning community down there because it's so close to Syracuse Stage, which I think was a great option. There will be RAs in both facilities, and obviously all the same amenities that come with our security, RSA staff. All of that will still be included in those. So it's a great thing to see that, as we look to create this, create a better first-year experience, and student experience, that we're still making sure that resources are being provided as well. We've also bought floors in University Village at Park Point Apartments. University Village is on East Colvin Street on South Campus, and Park Point is up on Comstock Avenue across the street from Haven. But they call themselves luxury apartments. Very nice apartments. I think what they bought was the 4-person apartments for those as well. And so again, RAs and RSAs, the same security, because these are still secure buildings, same type of thing. I don't think, so all those resources are still being provided. So I know of interest to many of you in this room is that the priority goes to the rising sophomores, that they're looking to fulfill your 2-year housing requirements. From what I heard, what I asked was the rates are comparable to if you were going to, it's actually cheaper at Park Point because they're only forced you to sign a 10-month lease versus, Jeff, you signed a 12-month lease at Park Point, right?
Well, if they're only doing 4-person apartments, you can sign a 10-month lease.
Oh, really?
It's only the 2-person that you have to sign.
Okay. So, but from what I hear, they're cheaper going through the university for this. But you also must be currently living in university housing. So I live on campus now. I couldn't jump back in and try and figure it out. But what I did want to talk about was, this is what I asked at the meeting too, is that these are great short-term solutions. What's the long-term on this? And as far as how do we, if we're going to keep increasing our student enrollment, which is great every year, because more and more students want to come here, what's the long-term solution? And I don't think there's an answer yet. So it's something we'll be continuing to work on in the future to make sure that we're looking at that. Who knows? That could mean a big build in the future. I don't know. Are there any questions on it? I mean, if you're going to go out and apply for living university, live in the Sheridan.
Was there any talk about the new dorms?
There was some talk about the new dorms, yes. They do expect that to alleviate some of the pressure from housing, but I think that would be countered with our increased enrollment. So it's like we're just breaking even obviously some of the upside. I think what my understanding is that there will still be students living in residence hall lounges next year, but not nearly to the extent that they are this year or have in previous years. So step by step, they look to alleviate that problem. So hopefully that will be changed in the future. I did want to clear up a rumor that was going around. From my understanding is that the Sheridan will still be providing beds, so you can sleep with a full-size bed, but they are bringing in the other furniture, desks, chairs, dressers, that type of stuff, which is interesting. So, any other questions on that? Any questions at all, Alex?
I actually came up with a question on the reforms. When we refer to the ESF dorm that's getting built, there's no plans for Syracuse.
Good. Okay, no. That's what you're saying.
300 ESF students out of the Sky Homes.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't make it bad.
And, yeah, that's, and one of the things is they're looking to do Sky Hall 3. I think it's Sky Hall 3, and make that entirely for, turn all those doubles into singles and allow upper class students a large single on South Campus.
Is that kind of conflicting though?
They seem to think it would be more attractive. I personally don't believe so. I mean, not telling upperclassmen want to live out on South Campus. So. We were at the housing meeting, we labeled South Campus as athletes and sophomores, right? So, any other questions on that? Nothing? All right, great. Any other questions on anything else going on? That's the time.